What a medieval faker would have needed to know and achieve to make the Shroud of Turin convincing to 21st century audiences and technology. 34 points. Predict blood clot resolution at different points in time across the body, suggesting that some wounds, scourging, happened hours before others, piercing, exactly matching the Passion timeline. Incorporate microscopic plant images, flower images, faintly visible around the head area, matching flowers that would have been in bloom during springtime in Jerusalem, Passover season, discovered using ultraviolet imaging. Predict anatomical signs of asphyxiation and cardiac failure, e.g., pooled fluid around the heart area after death. Both typical results of crucifixion, but not understood medically until modern times. Match soil particles found embedded in the shroud to travertine aragonite limestone, which geochemically matches the limestone found in Jerusalem tombs, confirmed by optical spectroscopy studies. Match bloodstains to crown puncture wounds consistent with thorns from plants native to Jerusalem, e.g., Ziziphus spina Christi. As botanical studies suggest, precisely regulate blood application to match venous and arterial bleeding patterns, including blood flow reversal seen in real dead bodies when position changes. Precisely regulate blood application to match venous and arterial bleeding patterns, including blood flow reversals seen in real dead bodies when position changes. Accurately depict crucifixion through the wrists, not palms, centuries before this was understood anatomically. Spread pollen spores from Israel, Turkey, and other countries along the way from Israel to Turin. Understand Roman crucifixion practices better than almost any medieval scholar or artist. Create a full-body front and back negative image without knowing photography or the concept of light inversion. Encode 3D spatial information into brightness levels long before mathematical 3D mapping was invented. Cause superficial chemical oxidation of linen, only on the outer 0.2 to 0.6 microns of the fibers, without using pigments, dyes, or heat. Avoid any brushstrokes, tool marks, or mechanical pressure signs detectable even under microscopes. Precisely match blood flows according to gravity, anatomy, and clotting behavior, including correct serum separation and clot retraction. Use real human blood with correct bilirubin chemical markers consistent with severe trauma. Apply bloodstains first, before the body image formed, matching forensic blood transfer patterns. Account for scourge marks consistent with a Roman flagrum whip, with 2 lead weights per lash. Unknown in medieval Europe. Create bloodstains on the scalp that suggest a cap or crown of thorns, when medieval art always showed a simple headband-style crown. Model realistic post-mortem body behavior, such as collapsed shoulders and elongated arms from crucifixion dislocation. Capture an accurate anatomical structure, body, face, hands, feet, without medieval artistic distortion. Avoid side images of the body, consistent with a flat cloth draped over a real corpse, not a wrapped mummy. Create uniform, consistent degradation patterns, matching natural ancient linen aging, not medieval chemical dyes. Use ancient weaving patterns, herringbone twill, consistent with 1st century textile techniques, not common medieval European weaving. Account for air gaps between body and cloth causing shading differences, without flattening the image as paint would. Produce no pigment particles, no binding media residues, and no foreign chemical agents detectable under. Modern spectroscopy. Predict forensic details of death by crucifixion, such as blood exit through feet and side wounds draining according to body tilt. Predict bodily rigor mortis positions, feet slightly flexed, head tilted, without modern forensic science. Simulate natural cloth-body interaction patterns like the dorsal foot blood flows matching real anatomical positions. Create a faint, lifelike face with natural soft tissue collapse after death, e.g., flattened nose from body pressure. Produce an event that imprints fibers without liquid soaking, scorching, or mechanical contact distortion, a concept utterly foreign to medieval physics or chemistry. precisely limit the image formation to oxidized cellulose fibers without affecting the adjacent starch and microfibrils in the linen, something that would require atomic-level control of energy input. Design all this to withstand high-resolution modern scientific investigation, including electron microscopy, ultraviolet fluorescence, and Raman spectroscopy, without being exposed as artificial. Do all of this without leaving behind any records, writings, experiments, failed versions, or documented methods. Anywhere, despite the technological leap it would have required. The faker would have had to be a forensic scientist, a chemist, a physician, a textile expert, a physicist, a 3D modeling pioneer, a blood flow anatomist, and an artist working at a level modern experts still cannot replicate. All at once, 600 years before any of these fields existed. If we compare the two explanations, the resurrection requires one extraordinary event that is internally consistent with the forensic, chemical, and physical evidence. In contrast, the medieval forgery hypothesis would require hundreds of separate miracles of knowledge, skill, and technology, including mastery of anatomy, blood chemistry, radiation physics, 3D spatial encoding, textile chemistry, and advanced imaging techniques centuries ahead of their discovery, all executed perfectly without leaving a trace of the methods used. Logically, the resurrection is a vastly simpler and more coherent explanation than the forgery theory. Even if a medieval faker staged a real crucifixion in Jerusalem, using a Semitic corpse, applying real wounds, dragging the body across limestone streets, and arranging authentic local springtime flowers, this could replicate many macroscopic features seen on the shroud. Realistic blood trails, wounds, abrasions, limestone dust, and botanical traces. However, it would still fail to explain the deeper scientific realities. The microscopic superficial oxidation of linen fibers without pressure or pigment, the perfect photographic negative properties, the encoded 3D spatial brightness mapping, the absence of decomposition fluids, the forensic sequence of bloodstains forming before the image, the radiation-like non-contact image formation, the preserved molecular structure of the fibers, and the ultraviolet fluorescence differences between blood and image. No amount of staging with real materials can create the invisible, structured, scientifically verifiable anomalies found in the shroud. Thus, even a perfectly staged medieval crucifixion would collapse under modern forensic scrutiny. Only an extraordinary, structured transformation event can explain the full evidence. Your dear viewer should watch this video carefully, write down all the points, and try to refute them using the most exacting thinking possible. If you're a believer, this will only give your faith a much deeper foundation. And if you're a skeptic, this will give your side a much deeper foundation.